All right, it's your boy Spank Dog, aka Puffinstein at YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Let's get right into it. All right, we're gonna have a good time. I guarantee you that. I just wanted to say that I come with an open mind today. This is more of a relaxed live, and I just want people out there to know that I don't hate anybody. My thing is that I see people, actively harming people, and it makes me angry. And I want people to know that I don't think I'm perfect. I know I make mistakes. I know while being on this show, I've made mistakes, and I'm learning. I'm trying to make it where I don't bite my tongue, but at the same time, I don't do anything in bad taste. You know what I'm saying? I've been around people that are really on some, like, I don't really care what people think. And I mean to a degree that a lot of people might not understand. And then there's other people that come from like a polar opposite situation, and they also don't care what people think. You know, do I respect it sometimes? Yes. Do I think it's fair at the end of it all? No. There's certain times where it's appropriate, where you got to be on some, like, I don't care what people think. There's times where I'm up here and I care so much about people understanding just that I have good intentions, like and sincerely, that I try too hard. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're not gonna try too hard. This is about y'all too. Drop a comment, you know, and more than drop a comment. You see that the live says pull up and talk, late night hangout. We're gonna get into some topics. Matter of fact, let's get into the first one. All right, and like I said too about the hate thing, um, lately on my channel, you'll see me talk about ICE a lot. Do I think there are good people employed as ICE agents? This is the thing. It's not that I think that all of them are bad. I think if you are employed by a certain company, corporation, state, um, state sector, whatever, whether you're part of the law enforcement branch or, you know, um, if you're an actual politician or if you're whatever, you know, um, there's certain things that require you to do things that are gonna make it where even if you're a good person, you're gonna choose your job over your morals. Now, if you choose your job over your morals, it's hard for a person to say, why'd you do that? Like, what do you mean why I did that? I gotta pay my rent. I have children. I think a lot of the ICE agents are in that situation. I mean, I think a tremendous amount of them. And then also, to be really, really honest, I think there's immaturity there. It's easy for me to say that because, even though you see me with maybe what people would consider a slightly different look for a 49-year-old man, um, you know, um, the police, the ICE agents, when they sign up for the job, you know, it's it's about money, and when you sign up for something like that, what's gonna happen is if you know that you're gonna have to play yourself, it's not it's still not a logical move. Because at the end of it all, if I needed money, certain things are off limits. You know, if the job requires me violating people constantly, yeah, you know, and when it comes to money, money makes a lot of things bad happen. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I wanted to talk about is there's a Cuban woman's husband being detained by US immigration authorities in South Florida. Oh no, matter of fact, hold on one second. Matter of fact, let me just bring up the video real quick. All right, here we go. All right, so my man's gonna break it down about this Cuban singer who sang a song about Trump and went all out for MAGA, and then they deported her husband. So let's get right into it. Big shout out to I gotta bring down the screen again. Big shout out to Ricardo Ignacio Podcast.
Hey, y'all remember that lady? The one that sung that song? This one? I will vote for Donald Trump. You see how happy she is celebrating with her whole team right there? You ever wonder whatever happened to her ever since that song? Check this out.
Yanet Correa screams injustice after her husband was placed on an expedited deportation order after showing up to his immigration check-in in Miami.
That's what you call instant karma. And the reason I say that is because you're backing these people. You're, performing at the performing a song where you speak Trump's name, and you're going all out for them like that. And then the same people that you go all out for deport your husband, and listen, there's a chance that he met the standards of being, him warranted, his status warranted him being deported. And still, if you're that lady, you think you care if he really deserved to be deported or not. In her head, she's like, I backed you guys up 100%. She probably had family members and friends going against her over it, and they deported her husband like it wasn't nothing. And let me tell you something: if it was a friend of a politician or something like that, I forgot there was something in the news recently where a politician's family member. Anyway, let me just stick to the topic. She backed them. Her husband got deported, and now she's crying.
So meanwhile, your vote was ruining other people's lives. You were singing and dancing, I was but Donald Trump. But now that your vote came knocking on your door, grab your husband and sent him back to the shithole country that he comes from, now it's injustice? No. Injustice was your vote harming the people that didn't vote for that orange piece of shit. Justice is when your vote came to harm you. In fact,
listen, this is what I'm saying too. You hear homie talking about what's going on, right? He sounds down to earth. That's what I don't understand. Like, it used to be whether rich or poor, you would find people that have common sense. And I'm not saying that there's no people with money out there without common sense. I don't do that. You should know if you pay attention to, the channel, then you know that I don't rock like that. I am on some human being shit, and it's just like that. It's not nothing about skin color, nothing about ethnicity, culture, nationality, nothing. You know, I don't know if people would consider this like I have a friend that's Mexican or I have a friend that's black, or but my wife is German, Italian, and my son is three races. My son's Puerto Rican, Italian, and German. And I'm proud of it. I'm happy because what happens is it diversifies. Some people are so crazy about, oh, but it's not pure breed, or like, yo, are you crazy? Like, if you do a bloodline, like there are no pure breeds. You understand? It ain't nobody out there with 100% original lineage. At least I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Let's hear what homie got to say.
That's the only justice that exists. It is unfortunate that so many people have to pay for your stupidity. Oh, but don't start crying now. Come on, let's continue singing.
What's crazy is people would look at the Scarface shirt and judge him. And then what's crazy is I've seen people who have money who walk the straight and narrow like their whole lives, and the most square person, the most, and like I said, just because you walk the straight and narrow don't mean you can't have swag. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, that the same shirt he has on, a person that would talk crap about it will go home and watch the movie, and probably loves it on the low and seen it 50 times, but like it's a certain culture. Our cultures aren't gonna match up. So for you to be on some like locking in on that instead of what's coming out the guy's mouth and how logical and how much common sense he has, you're ignorant.
And dancing. Come on. Y'all remember back in the day in the early 2000s when we were kids? They had the Disney sing-alongs. Well, this is Pendejos for Trump sing-alongs. You ready? I will vote for Donald Trump. Boom, boom, boom. I will vote.
See, I didn't know the words, and I didn't want to say the wrong thing. A second ago, I wasn't certain. I took a chance, and I shouldn't have. When you're up here, you should only say what you know 100%. And if you don't know, research it right on camera. So, but anyway, see, thank God I was right. She's singing about Trump like he's something sort of special, and people will be like, "What do you mean? If he's something special, he's the president. He's the president." But you're not judged on your job title. You're judged on your heart. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter what your job title is. Don't get it twisted. You can be humbled quickly in many different ways. Don't think money and having a good job makes you like perfect or better. It don't. And don't, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these people that they're going to change because something's going to happen to them that's going to show them the hypocrisy that they've been dealing with, and they're going to change. I've been around people that I've seen people who are mean, vicious, wild change because nobody wants to have anything to do with them. But what's going to happen here more so is going to be a rude awakening, like the lady. This lady is the perfect example of a rude awakening. Even if her husband truly met the qualifications, like if his status really warranted him being deported, it don't matter.
For Donald Trump. Yeah, but more than likely, this Cuban lady doesn't understand English. So, allow me to switch gears. and switch over to my Cuban accent. Say hello to my little friend. I even got the shirt. Hija de
I
puta,
didn't know.
come pinga, tú estás escuchando. En este país, no importa cuánto le beses el culo a
Yo,
los gringos.
yo, listen. Um, I've watched Scarface like 50 times. You know, if you want me to be exact, like 30, 35. And yeah, of course, everybody watches the beginning of the movie more than the end. That's just what it is. But yeah, I know Scarface like the back of my hand. I could recite dialogue. What's even crazier is that my father loved it more than I did. My father was a great man, you know, but he was, you know, he had a street fascination, but that don't make you a bad person. You know what I'm saying? A matter of fact, my father literally was sort of a pillar of the community. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is that? All right. So yeah, let's hear what he got to say. He's keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? I love the shirt, literally.
Hasta te puedes blichar el pelo para parecer gringa, pero ¿sabes qué? Entre más güera estés y entre
won't
más te
translate.
pintes el pelo para parecer gringa, al final del día, tu nombre es María, tu nombre es José, tu apellido es González, tu apellido es Hernández, tu apellido es Martínez. Y cuando abres el hocico, te oímos el acento, pendeja. Entre más
Matter of fact, I can't translate. I'm one of them New Yorkers who doesn't speak his language fluently, and I'm ashamed of that, but it is what it is. You know, I'm gonna let it play just for any Spanish people speaking people that watch this.
blanca te veas, entre más les beses el culo a los gringos y entre más les enseñes a los gringos que tú puedes traicionar a los
I understand some of the stuff he's saying.
latinos para demostrar que tú de verdad estás en el equipo de los supremacistas blancos, no importa. Ellos no te quieren. No nomás no te quieren ver,
It
pero
says something about white supremacists and they don't want you.
tampoco te quieren aquí, pendeja. Esta gente gringa está intentando en encontrar
He's also not being very he's being a little vulgar there. It's all good though.
modo para sacar a los latinos de este país de una manera a otra. Quieren ir contra la Constitución y hasta deportar a los hijos y hijas que son nacidos en este país, pero tienen padre y madre inmigrantes. Esta gente no nos quiere. No importa cuánto les beses el culo. Oh, Ricardo, what did you say to her? I said, it doesn't matter how white you want to be, how white you want to act.
You know what that makes me think? I'm gonna rewind it back to when he starts speaking English real quick.
Ricardo, what did you say to?
All right, so this reminds me of the whole Bad Bunny Super Bowl thing, because so many people couldn't understand or couldn't fathom that he sang in Spanish during the Super Bowl performance. Now, Willie Colon just died, you know what I'm saying? And there's there's been it's been decades of salsa, you know, merengue, bachata, and all those musics, right? And you know, people they're always performed in their native language, you know, and I've seen people that don't understand the words still groove out, rock out to the music, even if they don't understand the words. You know, salsa, you should have heard salsa so much by now that because out of the Spanish music, salsa is my favorite, and it's probably because I'm Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? But that's no shot at the other Spanish music. It's just salsa is my favorite. But when Bad Bunny did the Super Bowl halftime, people shouldn't have been upset by that. A lot of people wouldn't have been paying attention even if it was in English. You know, as far as like paying attention to every single word. And to be honest with you, the people that knew the words to Bad Bunny's song most likely knew what he was saying, you know. And people should have just enjoyed the music. Enjoyed the music. That song Nueva York, that is a beautiful song. That's a good song. I'm not really into the reggaeton like that, but Bad Bunny is definitely doing something right. You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't know who he was for a long time. Sometimes you just don't be in the loop. And when I found out who he was, I said, let me listen to one of his songs. The first song I played was Nueva York, and it was good. It was more than good. It was great, you know. So, but let this guy translate because I couldn't translate. Like I said, I'm not proud of that, but it is what it is. Let him translate for you.
Oh, Ricardo, what did you say to her? I said, it doesn't matter how white you want to be, how white you want to act. You could bleach your hair blonde. You can desire white proximity. You can perform white alignment. You could change your appearance and disguise yourself as white as possible. But when your name is Maria, Jose, Juan, and your last name is Martinez, Hernandez, Gonzalez, and when you
Lopez.
open your mouth and we hear that accent, you could sing, "How about for Donald Trump all you want, but you still sound like a spick. You still have the name of a spick. And you and or your parents or grandparents were born in a spick country."
All right, we're gonna stop it right there. Let me close the thing real quick. I'm gonna hit my man with a like. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hit the subscribe. Big shout out to Ricardo Ignacio podcast. And we're gonna get into something else real quick. He definitely made tons of points, you know. And he made a hard point at the end. He's not trying to say, he did say the point he made was you're still immigrant to them, a Spanish nobody, to certain people that are no good. Yo, what up, Frank, man? You still here? Was percolating. Hit me with a comment if you still here. I'm gonna bring up the next video in a second. You see, you know what it is, man. I got the New York Yankee hat on deck always. Nueva York. What I was gonna say, we're gonna get into another video in a second. Yeah, man. People, listen. My thing is that listen. I don't hate on people who got money. And listen, when I tell people that they should look out for people, I'm not saying they should look out for me. I'm saying they should look out for people who are truly messed up and can't figure it out and need real help. You know what I'm saying? Life is hard, bro. Wait, this is all crazy. Like, what does it all mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think everybody's always wondering what's going on, or you're not promised tomorrow. There's so much things going on, man. And some people can't function under the pressure. You see, even people, look, let's say people that get a 9 to 5, right? They functioning under the pressure, right? But then they'll do some slimy stuff and end up in jail. Or they'll do some slimy stuff, backstab somebody. The person will end up hurting them to the point where they're no longer with us. That's life. Life is crazy, and there's some people out there that can't cope, and for the people that can't cope, listen, man, that guy, I'm gonna research something right in front of you guys. All right. news reporter that said mentally check. Oh no, hold on. Let me say it again real quick. Reporter or politician who said that people with mental health. You know what? I'll just type out the rest with mental health issues should be put down. I know his name too. So when I see it, Brian Kilmeade. Now we're gonna really find out exactly what he said because I don't like throwing dirt on people's names. So let's hear the quote, and it's a disgusting quote. He apologized, I believe, but it's just something that you're supposed to forgive people, but like it's one of those things where you're like, I don't know if I could forgive a person after that. Some people, I'm not. I'm gonna read it right now. I wanna. All right, there you go. Involuntary lethal injection, people. This is what, like, can you defend that? And this is definitely not something that a person on the left would say. A Democrat, a liberal, and to be honest with you, I'm about to pull somebody up that he said what I said, because at first I was like, I don't want no labels, but I didn't care neither if you did label me. You get what I'm saying? But I just don't like the label thing. I think it messes things up a little bit. But don't think that if I realize that I am a Democrat and Democrat means for the people and freedom, that I'll be proud to be a Democrat if that's the definition. You know, the other day I put the definition of democracy in one of my commentaries, not knowing that the thumbnails perform better if you don't put a bunch of words on it. I put it as my thumbnail, and the video underperformed. Like, there's a lot of ins and outs when you do YouTube that you need to check out. Don't start a channel and not research hard. You'll go through pain. I lowered my watch hours for getting monetized twice. The first time I cut off 600 hours while I was trying to get to the 3,000. And the other time, I think I cut off more than the 600. You understand? So, and that's crazy because 600 hours, if your click through rate ain't high, you're struggling to get those hours. And they're precious because once you get monetized, you can relax a little bit. So, when I seen that the 600 hours got erased, I lost my mind, And when I lost the next 600, look, guys, I did a video saying the thumbnails, the have a niche, and make sure your CTR is right, and you'll be good. Those are and they don't express to you how important the thumbnail is. You get what I'm saying? But this is what I also found out. What was the other thing I was gonna tell people that messed me up? Oh man, I forgot. Well, anyway, it'll come back to me. Let's get into the next video. I'm gonna pull up the video with Cash Patel. Like, I haven't even watched these videos yet, so sometimes I'll vet them before I watch them, but that's not the case right now. So we're gonna watch it for the first time together. I'm gonna bring up the homie Makla. Here we go.
Secret Service as
like
bodyguards and Ubers for his girlfriend and her friends, right? But over and over,
Cash Patel, like I said, I don't hate nobody unless I don't even use the word hate. I would curse before I would say that, like, I hate a person. Like, I don't say, yo, I hate such and such. You know what I'm saying? So I don't hate Cash Patel, but like I said, it's not where I would say I hate them. I would just say that he's, not somebody that I would, take kindly to. Just leave it at that. If he did certain things, I don't know everything, all the skeletons in his closet, but let's see what this is about.
We cannot be effing serious here. We cannot be serious. This is our FBI director. We have brand new video of FBI director Kash Patel chugging beers in Italy while he was supposed to be on a government trip representing the United States on our taxpayer dollar. This is like the 15th time Kash Patel has gotten in a controversy for abusing the government jets, for using Secret Service as like bodyguards and Ubers for his girlfriend and her friends, but over and over abusing the resources that he has as the FBI director while underperforming in every single investigation that happens. We have,
I wouldn't have a problem with him going and having a good time. But first of all, he's doing it. That's the equivalent, in my opinion, of stealing. And not only that, he's the same guy that'll fry you for stealing. So the hypocrisy, you're gonna condemn people over robbery, um stealing money, and you're doing the equivalent of that. You shouldn't be paying for trips on the and the taxes come from a lot of people that don't have money to pay taxes. So not only is he partying on people that are less fortunate than him, on their dime, he's also the same guy that'll send you to jail over that.
multiple video angles of Kash Patel chugging this beer and partying with the U.S. men's Olympic hockey team, which is a complete derelict of duty. The question here is, how do conservatives feel about this? Because remember, this dude botched the Charlie Kirk investigation. We currently have the Nancy Guthrie investigation, Savannah Guthrie's mom, who was kidnapped.
He doesn't deserve the job, in my opinion. He's not qualified. He ended up with that job over loyalty. And you could research, you could research that, and a lot of people are gonna say we don't think he's qualified for the job. He got it because of his immense loyalty to Trump. Now, loyalty is a good thing when the guy you're loyal to isn't, doing things that are horrific.
And the FBI is botching that, making no progress. The U.S. might strike Iran, and where's our FBI director? Chugging beers over in Italy.
I seen
and
that.
Overall, it's an awful.
Let me pause that real quick. Yo, what's good, Frankie? I seen you before, but then I said something. I should drop a comment. When you didn't drop the comment, I was like, oh, he probably is doing something or whatever. What's up, brother? Much love to you and yours. You already know. This is the live, man. People, relax. Drop a comment, man. Talk about what's going on, man. I got enough videos. Been on this thing long enough where people drop a comment, man. Yeah. Thanks for your support, Frank, man. I appreciate that. You're a real dude, and you make good music. That's what people need to know too. Go check out my man's channel. You know what I'm saying? He got good music. And yeah, before when I was talking to you too, I was we don't even gotta, it's not that deep where you gotta give me a ring or whatever. I was gonna say, if you want, I'll write something to one of your jump offs, one of your beats, and we could collaborate if you want. We could do it through file transfer and emails or whatever, Dropbox, whatever, All right, let me see. I just seen this one. Let me check it out right now, Frank. We living in a reality TV show called Surviving America, Steven Sinclair. I'm gonna highlight all these, You know, I don't know what honey pot means. Let me look it up real quick. You could tell me too if you want. When a person says honey pot, what are they referring to? I just read it. It says the honey pot refers to a person, system, or situation designed to lure someone into a trap, usually to steal information or exploit them. Yeah, I listen, man. These people are wild, Frank. You know, like I said too, like I try to be careful too because I can't be ODing. You know, they'll silence you. You know, and not only that too, just on some. I want to keep it classy when I come up here. You know, I don't want it to be like when I'm hanging with the homeboys. The channel's important, so I want to have dignity. I want the channel to be dignified. You know what I'm saying? Oh, all right. Let me maybe I want to go back far enough. Hold on one second. Excuse me. If you forgot to hit that like button, smash that. Don't forget. You the man. Yep. Yo, matter of fact, that gotta stay up. That one's staying up right there. Yeah, man. Hit yo, listen. Yeah, word, man. Listen, subscribe, comment, share, like the whole kit and caboodle. First of all, you don't gotta worry about me doing no slimy stuff. I'm a good person at heart, so you know, I hold it down, trust me. So as far as subscription and plus the content is good, you know what I'm saying? That's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming with more music than ever starting the last couple of days. I'm almost finished with the next one, and I put out 3 music videos in like the last like 5 days. And that's because in my house, I got my little setup, and I didn't think I could engineer a song with what I had, but I could. That's why you seen Spanish Democrat messing around and Lisa Lopez Part 2. Check those out too, Frank. If you ain't see them, the last 3 music videos I made, they're crazy. Spanish Democrat and Lisa Lopez are the two that I like. Messing around is dope, but Lisa Lopez too and Spanish Democrat are crazy. You know. Let me go further down. Glad you rolled up, Frank. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna highlight that comment right now too. From the mud. That's right. I'm gonna pull up another video so we could check this out too. A matter of fact, we're gonna let this one play a little longer. I don't know if you was familiar with him early on, but the kid Adam Mockley, he's on point. This, he's very surprising. There aren't many people his age that can get it shaken with the politics like that. It's the homie Makla.
Showing from Cash Patel. Also, even earlier today, a man tried to run into Mar-a-Lago with a gun and got killed. I'm pretty sure it would be nice to have an FBI director leading during this, but Cash Patel hasn't been very helpful thus far. Christy asks, no judgment here at all. This is a safe space for conservatives to answer this. So I'm genuinely asking, do you look at this and think, hell yeah, this guy who couldn't find Charlie Kirk's assassin is now partying with the Olympic hockey team? Like, who thinks this guy is cool? Who thinks the guy who has botched every single investigation and walks around with merch saying cash and stickers saying cash, who thinks this guy is cool whatsoever? I guess maybe the U.S. Olympics hockey team. This is the first video that...
And that's not because I'm hating on him. Nas is my favorite rapper. He could have had the hoodie on and I would have said it's ugly.
Got leaked a few hours ago, but the second video is so much worse. We're going to break it all down and work every single day to make sure people like Cash Patel are removed or resign. Make sure Howard Nutlick is removed or he resigns. Make sure the people around Trump who are enabling this are gone.
People talk about Trump almost in like you know, like I said, I gotta be careful. See, like I want to say a certain word, and in my head, I'm like, they'll not put me in the algorithm if I say that word. Put it like this: people seem like they're hypnotized by Trump, even though he says so many things that are ignorant. That's my best way to put it, right? Now, you got a bunch of people that are, you know, always talking about how ICE is violating, how Trump is not a good president. Now, you talk about those people like they're hating on Trump, like they're, you know, hating on just the whole administration and everything, right? But this is my thing. We know that they're doing negative things, illegal things, some of them, right? We know that they get up there and lie, right? And well, I'll say allegedly, just you already know what it is. But you can tell how they get down. It seems to me like lying is nothing to them. While you got a guy here that I don't like lying. I'm not gonna say I've never lied, or you know, a lie won't ever come out, but I like being the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm about honor. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even entertain certain things if it was gonna, you know, jeopardize my honor. You know what I'm saying? So, but my thing is, it's like if somebody punches somebody and then somebody punches back, how could you be mad at the guy who defended himself and punched back? That's what's going on right now. It's to the point where they've done so many things and they lie and they don't tell the truth. And, you know, the whole, see, I was going to say a certain person's name, the guy with the island. We'll call him the guy with the island. You know, the guy with the island, there's a chance he was doing stuff that would get you life, you know, and some of these dudes was rocking with him, you know, and you were supposed to release them files. You're breaking the law regarding the files, because if you don't have the files in by the certain date, you know, you're supposed to be terminated and stuff like that, or whatever. You know, if you're elected, I don't know what happens, you know what I'm saying? But people like Christy Nome, Pam Bondi, Caroline Levitt, Cash Patel, and Stephen Miller. I mean, I don't Stephen Miller, you rarely see stuff like that. And I'm not saying that in a good way. You know, he's generational, like like Stephen Curry, but not in that sense, in the negative sense, you know. Yeah, man, the way the guy talks, the way he comes off, it's like you could see, like, you know, there ain't no doubt in my mind that he's, you know, rotten, you know what I'm saying? Or rather, in my opinion, you know. Let's get back. Let me check with Frank wrote something real quick. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I just seen your last comment. Yeah, hell yeah. On what they say, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Highlight this real quick. All right, we're gonna get back into what Markler was saying.
Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. It genuinely means a lot. Here's the first video of Cash Patel that went especially viral because everyone was wondering, where's Cash? He's been gone for the past, 24 hours while he's supposed to be on a government trip. Where is he? Well, this is where he was.
Let's go! We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app.
The hockey players don't know he's playing himself. You get what I'm saying? Like that guy next to him, he's not really aware that the guy's doing what he's not supposed to be doing. So I'm not trying to say nothing about the hockey players.
Without knowing how to code. This is base 40.
Then The spokesperson for the FBI, the person who runs PR for Kash Patel, came out last night and tried to defend Kash before these videos came out. He said, your rag outlet wrote that he went to hang out at the Olympics on the taxpayer dime, even when provided information that your theory was false. When you're ready to correct that, let me know. Won't hold my breath. He was being all sassy, and he posted again. This is the fourth public official event since Director Patel's arrival in Italy. And for those wondering, I have yet to receive any follow-up from CBS or MS Now who purposefully misled people to think Kash was flying to Italy to hang out at the Olympics. Well, Ben Williamson, Kash Patel quite literally just screwed you over because we now have multiple videos of him dancing, drinking, partying with these players while ignoring his duty as the FBI director.
All right, so we're gonna stop it there. I mean, you know what it is. Kash Patel is partying on the people's dime, and he would lock you up for it. That's all you need to know. We're gonna go on to the next one. Let me check the comment section real quick. All right, cool. All right, I got a good one. Now we're gonna blow it up right now. Y'all gotta see this one. Yeah. The one that I really wanted you to watch. Give me 1 second too, because it's worth the wait. You know, I want you guys to see the one I watched earlier. Yeah, this is it right here. Let me see if it's the right one too, because I watched 2 of them. Yeah, I think that was the right one. All right, so let's pull that one up real quick. All right, yeah, we're gonna watch this one. This one is definitely, you know, volatile, if you get my drift. All right, let's get that. Ooh. I think it's this one right here. It's a terrorist. I think it's this one, is it? Yeah. All right, people. Now, Stephen Miller, right? Like I said, you know, I don't, you know, you already know how I feel about Stephen Miller, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. You know what I'm saying? So, this is the one where Stephen Miller's wife gets upset because the guy from the Young Turks, I believe you pronounce his name Cenk or Jank, you know, he's a good dude. I don't care that he made mistakes. I know he said stuff that he messed up, but at the end of it all, he's fighting for what's right. All of them. Dr. Rashad Ritchie, Rick Strom, Jank, and even Anna too. Recently I seen her say something, but she apologized and she took it back too. You know, then you got the people from the Midas Touch Network, the people from Really American, you know, and then you got the politicians that be holding it down, like AOC, you know, Bernie Sanders, Jasmine Crockett, and there's more. For all those people out there that are holding it down in the government right now, God bless you guys. I'm not really a systematic political kind of dude. I voted for the first time last election, the mayoral one, and I will be voting in the major elections coming up from now on. I'm not gonna be up here talking about politics and not be a registered voter. You know, so y'all could at least congratulate me on that. That's the type of stuff. That's how I'm trying to be now. I come from the streets. I'm proud of it. I'm from Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, Ralph Avenue between Putnam and Jefferson. My father was a legend over there, and I'm here right now, I'm gonna make change. You understand? Like there's things in motion already. So but besides that, I'm trying to win further so I can help more people. And I'm gonna record it and show it and lead by example. It there's not gonna be any recording of me being charitable for clout. It's gonna be so other people understand that parting with your money, if it's in abundance, is okay. It's okay. It's okay. Stop calling people bums. Stop calling people lazy. They exist, but not to the degree that matter of fact, they're capitalizing on that. It's a grift. They want to call everybody this and this and that so they could put them in jails, not give them good jobs, not let them through the door, not let them do the door unless they do sexual acts, all that type of stuff, or let them get away with crimes. And I mean, I'm not talking about the guy on the corner, nickel and diamond. I'm talking about the people creating this stuff. This is wild. This I'm gonna hit play. You judge for yourself. Oh, hold on. Oh, all right, hold on a second.
The barbarians are no longer.
All right, that's what it is. I got the wrong one playing. All right, here we go, guys. I got you right now. For a second, I had the wrong one playing.
Longer at the gate. They are now inside.
So you're calling Cenk Uygur a barbarian? Well, given he's here, let me bring him in.
There are barbarians inside the gate, and that's Randy Fine. Randy Fine is a sick terrorist sympathizer.
You want him deported, is that right?
I do. Look, I think Mamdani lied and is now.
Listen, I voted for Mamdani, and people won't tell people who they voted for, or whatever. Hell, I don't. That shit don't. You know how I am. So this man wants the guy that I voted for deported. Do you think me and him are on the same page? I think not. It's obvious. But like I said, let's watch.
Naturalization application.
He's a dirty Muslim, and you should hate him for supporting Muslim. And that's what almost all of the Israeli supporters are doing.
Dude, just
Listen, now you're gonna tell me that Cenk is wrong right there? Like, for people who are talking about that they have morals, you're gonna say that the guy who hates Mamdani just because of his nationality, and the guy who's defending him, saying you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, you're gonna tell me that guy is wrong? This is what I'm saying. It's like they only acknowledge something if it's in their it makes them look good. Jillian Michaels is bugged out too.
Come out and condemn Hamas. It's not that hard.
These anti-Semitic attacks that is so permeating on CNN and MSNBC.
She's the reason why I put it on. What I was gonna say was that Stephen Miller, that's his wife, and they're together, and I try to be so classy, like I don't want to disrespect another man's wife, even though I don't like Stephen Miller, and to be honest with you, his wife, she comes off as a horrible person also. But just because she's a female and she's married, I'm gonna let her blow her own self up.
He's a dirty Muslim, and you should hate him for supporting Muslim. And that's what almost all of the Israeli supporters are doing.
Dude, just come out and condemn Hamas. It's not that hard.
These anti-Semitic attacks that is so permeating on CNN and MSNBC.
This is so ridiculous. Somebody criticizing you personally is not an anti-Semitic attack. If somebody says that you are lying, that is not an attack on Jews. That is an attack on you.
Piers, I'm going to be done with this if you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators.
What is she even talking about? She fabricated a bunch of things right there.
Zoran Mamdani says that Islamophobia is endemic in the United States, and his opponents have given him ample reason to make that case. A New York congresswoman called him the jihadist candidate for mayor. Republican Randy Fine is trying to have him deported. Mamdani's main opponent, Andrew Cuomo, has called him a terrorist sympathizer and was widely criticized for saying this in a recent interview.
Whose lives are at stake? God forbid another 9/11. Can you imagine Mamdani in the seat?
Yeah, I could. He'd be cheering.
It's another problem.
For his part, Mamdani has not always struck the right tone on issues of race and faith.
Can you imagine Mamdani in the seat?
Yeah, I could. He'd be cheering.
He said, if like there was another I gotta be careful, that'll activate it too. If, you know what happened to the Twin Towers, if that happened again, he said he'd be cheering. The mayor of New York City. This is how bigoted and ignorant. This is what I'm saying. Like, again, I ask people that act like they're right, who's wrong right now? If you have any morals, who's wrong right there?
It's another.
Oh, yeah, TYT. All right, I wanted to check the quick question. What's your favorite Bible scripture and why? Oh, nah, but I told people to come in here. Hold on one second. We're gonna leave it on pause for you, homie. Big shout out to Richie Garcia. He asked me, what's your favorite Bible scripture and why? I don't like to pretend that I know or am something that I'm not or don't know. I don't know the Bible well. And I couldn't name a scripture for you. That's my favorite. You could enlighten me and let me see one. That's some. Listen, I got a friend named G who sends me Bible verses in the morning. He did it, he doesn't do it now, but he did it for years. And I would read them, but I wouldn't memorize if it was Matthew, whatever, however it goes. I even went to Bible classes every Saturday when I was young. I didn't make my communion though, but you're definitely welcome to drop one so I could check it out. You know what I'm saying? And isn't yea though I walk through the shadow of death, yea though I walk through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil. Isn't that from the Bible? And if it isn't, my bad. And if it is, that's awesome, So, but I'll be looking for your response. I'm gonna highlight this question one more time. We keep it official, man. They ain't no nothing. When you come here, like I said, you do you. The one thing that is not okay is being vicious. You know what I'm saying? But you free to talk. You free to disagree. Like if you don't agree, go ahead, drop that. Ah, Frankie came through with one. All right, we're gonna highlight that. We're gonna go there. Religion's a touchy subject, but we're still gonna touch on it. Isaiah 45. Let me bring that down. All right, Isaiah 45:7 states, I from the light and create from the darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, do all these things. This one is the one that scares me. That's awesome, Frankie. We're going to highlight that again. I do believe in God, though, and I do speak out loud to him every now and then, for me, things are too coincidental. Things fit too much like puzzle pieces for me to believe that it's just what do they call it? Like if it just happened by chance, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Richie Garcia. So but the one that I was sharing, I wanted you guys to hear. She gets crazy with it. I'm gonna play it.
For his part, Mamdani has not always struck the right tone on issues of race and faith. He previously compared the NYPD to the Israeli Defense Forces, for example, and he thought.
Listen, regarding what he just said, the Black Lives Matter movement, a big part of that, if not like almost all of it, was unarmed African American men were being gunned down, and nothing was being done about it. And it was to the point like Eric Garner is one of the saddest ones. I mean, they're all sad. You get what I mean? It's probably more so because I'm more familiar with the story. They said he was selling Lucy's. The cops ran up on him. They ended up unaliving him. And then they found out that just a few minutes before the cops had did that, this man that they took his life had just finished breaking up a fight. What kind of man breaks up a fight? You know the answer to that. So did Eric Garner deserve to not be here any longer? That's a, you know what it is. You know what's wrong and what's right. Some people wrote comments, right? This is what's crazy. I had wrote something about the ICE detention centers, and I don't want to get into it too because I don't want them to flag me or throw me out the algorithm. But you already know there was like a alleged sexual assault at the detention centers, but we're talking about in the thousands, and only in 4 years, right? So two guys come into the comment section, right, and they say some ignorant stuff. So there's times where I would have gotten angry, My son's coming, guys. Hold on one second. Boogs, the kid. What's up, baby boy? I love you. All right, so so the guys came in the room, right? And they said some ignorant stuff, right? So there's times where I would have gotten mad, right? And I mean, a lot of times recently is when I've really started deciding to like check my to use my words instead of like come out aggressively. So like I hit them with some real intelligent stuff, and they can't say, like, when you stay calm, if you lose your cool, you feed into them. But when you stay calm, they don't know what to say and they just start spewing ignorance, But Black Lives Matter had to happen, in my opinion.
Back crocodile tears while talking about some of the real victims of 9/11.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Well, Mamdani has now clarified those remarks, but only to say it wasn't his aunt, but his father's cousin. All of this has become a matter of national debate for several reasons. Firstly, the competing accusations of Islamophobia and anti-Semitism have underpinned basically everything since October the 7th.
It's important. It's relevant. I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan either.
Second, if Mamdani wins in New York, many think the Democrats will follow his socialist lead. And finally, it comes at a time of hand-wringing and soul-searching over ICE raids, anti-immigrant rhetoric, and the question of what it means to be an American. Is Mamdani the embodiment of this great American journalist, Omar Badr?
I skipped ahead a little bit so we could go ahead, but then I kind of want people to know the names of the people on the panel.
Is Mamdani the embodiment of this great colorblind meritocracy, or as Randy Fine puts it, part of the invasion? Well, joining me to debate all of this is the host of Keeping It Real, Gillian Michaels, the former Deputy Press Secretary and host of the Katie Miller podcast, Katie Miller, the founder and CEO of the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur, and the Palestinian American journalist, Omar Badr. Well, welcome to...
You know, the man that has the dress shirt and the black dress coat, that not Pierce Morgan, he has a dark coat on too, but the last guy they introduced, I believe he speaks very intelligently, if I remember what he was saying.
All of you. Gillian, let me start with you. Welcome back to Uncensored. You know, I thought it'd be helpful probably to start the debate about Mamdani by reminding us all of some of the more inflammatory things that he said on his record. In June 2020, he wrote on X, "We don't need an investigation to know that the NYPD is racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety. What we need is to hashtag defund the NYPD." In 2023, he linked the NYPD to the IDF in a Democratic Socialists of America panel discussion, saying, "I think that for anyone to care about these issues, we have to make them..."
None of that is far-fetched. It's accurate. You know, to a certain degree, the defunding of the police is not what people think. You know, it's not just deading the police force. It's not even that. It's saying we're not going to fund them to go handle like civil things or things they shouldn't be involved in, where it ends up where they end up beating somebody up because he might say something stupid to them and it was something that somebody else could have handled. You understand what I'm saying? That's a fact too. I know what I'm talking about. And the other things he said about the NYCPD, I mean the NYC Police Department, the NYCPD. Listen, I was in New York City during a stop and frisk. You know, they stopped it, thank God, but it was crazy. It was like a police state in NYC. And I'm gonna tell you something. People know that I'm telling the truth because there were people, working class people, getting stopped on the regular. People that didn't look like they were doing anything. They were just running up on people and checking them. And I mean, like a lot of people that now, right now, they don't get checked at all. It's been years, you know, but it's still like, and then we got the dudes from that precinct where the guy, his name was Mike. You know, there was an officer named Michael something, and the police force was crazy corrupt. Then I used to live on Ralph Avenue. The precinct on the other block from me was corrupt also. One of the cops wore a wire and he wired up and let the whole police department. I lived on Ralph between Putnam and Jefferson. The police department was on like 2 blocks to going towards Williamsburg, and the guy wore a wire because he didn't want to keep conforming to their illegal activity, because he didn't want to, you know, appear like he would tell on them and they would do something to him. And he was tired of the corruption, and he wore a wire and he blew up the whole police department. So when a guy who's going to be mayor says that the police departments are rotten, you know, who am I to say that he's wrong? From what I've heard, they can be.
Them hype.
Let me check the comments real quick. Someone say nothing is accidental or coincidental. I just read your comment. Yeah, some people believe everything's been written. Regarding what you said, your comment about some people believe nothing is accidental or coincidental.
Per local, we have to make it clear that when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF. In June, he declined to condemn the phrase globalize the intifada, instead saying that's not language I use, and he would discourage the use of it. In September, when asked if he agreed with the Israeli Prime Minister's stance that Hamas is a terrorist group that needs to be destroyed, Mamdani said, I'm not going to echo the words of Benjamin Netanyahu. When you take it in totality, I can see why people have got exercised about this, albeit with the last two, a failure to do something is not quite the same as endorsing it, and we should be that should be recorded. But what is your view about Mamdani?
Well, the one thing that I would hope people stop doing is pointing out that he's Muslim, because honestly, who cares?
Okay.
What does that have to do with anything regarding his policies?
Thank God Jillian Michael has some sense.
And how he will run New York City. So that should be called out from the get. It's wrong. Nobody should do it. Simultaneously, yes, a lot of the things you said are alarming to me. I do wish, dude, just come out and condemn Hamas. It's not that hard. It's very common sense, in my opinion. What's alarming to me about Mamdani are his policies. And if we're going to talk about that, I feel like I can pontificate on it. But with regard to him being Muslim, I go back to, again, who cares? And people should stop calling that out. It's wrong.
But I guess it's relevant if he is saying that Islamophobia is endemic in the United States. I mean, do you believe that it is endemic in the United States? A hatred of people for their Muslim faith?
Listen, the Twin Towers happened. Some people don't know how to separate people, and because of what happened with the Twin Towers, people chose to be ignorant, some people. But they need to understand to separate people. Don't just because a group of people did something don't mean that the whole nationality is bad. The matter of fact, far from it. You're talking about, listen, man, if there's 2 million people, 3 million people, 1 billion people, you got to know that there's good and bad in there. You understand? And if you don't, you really think 4 billion people or 500 million people are all bad, I pray for you.
I don't think it's endemic in the United States, but it does exist. Racism exists, sexism exists. I don't think it's endemic. And I think that kind of fear-mongering, rage baiting is...
Oh, that's what the question was. I forgot what the question was. Do they think it's really super prevalent in New York City? I don't know. See, with Mamdani, I don't know if I could agree with that. I don't think I think there are people in New York City that, because of what happened with the Twin Towers, they are biased or even racist, bigoted, whatever you want to call it. But I think there's a lot of real good-hearted New Yorkers out there that know that what happened there don't mean that the whole nationality or the whole religious group aren't bad. You understand? There's actually tons of good, and there might be a lot of bad also, But I would say if you call it 50-50, whatever, it's up to you,
literally tearing us apart, which is...
I don't think New York City is so overwhelmed with Islamophobia like it's got to be addressed. No. I think that there are people out there that are, they judge a book by its cover.
Why I want to see it stop when it comes to his religion as well. So listen, he said a lot of things that I don't like. This is America. He's allowed to say those things. I go back to what I wish people would attack him on specifically are his policies, because that's where I believe he has exceptional vulnerability. Like, if you don't like the things that he's saying.
She should have said he's exceptionally wrong. She said exceptional vulnerabilities, like, oh, he got chinks in his armor so we could get him, and that didn't sound right. I don't know if she just framed it wrong, but like I said too, I've heard her say stuff that I consider very ignorant.
About Gaza or Hamas or the Jews, don't double down by saying those things about him being Muslim. That's my
He's never
opinion.
said anything
I don't think
about the
two
Jews.
wrongs
We should just be
make a
clear
right.
about the fact that he's never said anything about the Jews. That's a way that it's just a
Well,
phrase that gets imposed on him because people,
That's the guy speaking right now that I said came off intellectual when I heard him speak before.
can't find anything to condemn. Yeah, but that's not saying anything about the Jews. Whatever his views are on Hamas, that's a completely different conversation. We should just use words carefully and to be like, if we're going to have a constructive discourse, it's important not to put words in other people's mouths. So anytime you hear Mamdani and you hear the phrase, the Jews followed by it, that's typically a smear because Mamdani has never expressed any views that are anti-Semitic. If his political views about Israel and Palestine are problematic, let's debate the merits of those without suggesting that he's saying something about the Jews when he never did.
Oh, okay. What
I think
about
that's
this
fair
one,
enough,
though?
Omar.
He has a rap
he,
song.
okay.
I was going to say he has a rap.
Well, either he did or he didn't. And it sounds like homie right there knows for sure that he didn't say anything about the Jews. So don't say he did if that's the case.
Rap song where he celebrates the Holy Land Five, who have gone to jail for sending millions of dollars to Hamas. How do you think that would make a Jewish person feel? Probably not great.
Not great, Jillian.
I've never heard of that song.
When Israel slaughters. Hold on.
Okay, I mean,
Israel
it
slaughters
exists.
our children.
Yeah.
Listen, all right, now you're about to see a man that really don't care about nothing but, what he believes is, and I wouldn't even say believes all the time. It's factual sometimes. And he don't care. He's gonna stand up and say, no, that's bull. How could you say that when this and this and that? And you're about to see it right now. She brought up feelings. And that's why he went straight to the wait. People are being, I don't want to say what he says, but he says people are being unalive left and right, and you're talking about feelings.
Person feel probably not great.
Not great, Jillian.
I've never heard of that song.
When Israel slaughters. Hold on.
Okay, I mean,
it
exists.
Our children over and over and over again, and all we do is and Piers, this is really important. It's not that the American people are Islamophobic. It's that American media, mainstream media, and almost all the Israeli supporters are the most bigoted, racist people in the country. They despise Muslims. All they do is smear Muslims 24/7 while pretending that they're concerned about bigotry, but only when it affects their beloved Israel. So they're like, oh my God, I'm so concerned about anti-Semitism. Oh, you said something slightly true, actually very true about Israel, but it hurt my feelings. You're an anti-Semite, fire him, cancel him, etc. This is all thuggery. There's a bunch of pro-Israeli forces inside America. They've taken over our Congress. They've taken over mainstream media. And not only do they try to smear, cancel, fire, and arrest anyone who criticizes Israel, but on top of that, they now demand that you be racist and bigoted against Muslims. And it's so hilarious.
You want to be specific with your words?
You can't be worried about people's feelings when people are being victimized to the degree of being unalive. He's absolutely right with what he just said. She's about to be offended over nothing. She should actually be agreeing with him.
Donnie, hold on, let me finish. So let me finish. So now they go, okay, even though Mamdani has never said anything anti-Semitic, nothing against Jews, and even though the majority of Jews, according to polling, are supporting Mamdani, 67% of younger Jewish Americans in New York, that's under 45, are supporting Mamdani, we're going to lie anyway, and we're going to say, you know what, he's a dirty Muslim, and you should hate him for supporting Muslims. And that's what almost all of the Israeli supporters are doing, almost all of mainstream media, and that sick, disgusting Andrew Cuomo, who's as bigoted as it gets.
AI. Generating.
AI. Tim, with Monday Sidekick, AI is easy.
Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural. Makers night helps you relax and get deep, refreshing sleep. oxfordnatural.com/peers. And here's the best part. Use the code PEERS and get... All right,
now
Katie.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Why is it that every time someone wants to criticize Mamdani, it immediately comes back to the Jews and the anti-Israel movement instead of actually talking about his viewpoints, which is that
Nobody
wants to
said
make
Jews. You just said it. You always do.
They're saying all he said was that Mamdani never said nothing about the Jews. So what she's saying, he didn't say that.
That we say Israel, you say Jews. We say Israel is a government. Please don't make it about Jewish Americans. And you come back, go, you have to make it about Jewish Americans. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
This was the part that I wanted you guys to see. This was the part that blew up, that went viral. After this is over, we're gonna wrap it up. But this is what I really wanted you to see. You know, she doesn't say nothing too, you know, horrible, but it's her stance.
Israel a Jewish state? Yes or no?
Yeah. First of all, okay, so Saudi Arabia is a Muslim state, and you can criticize it all day long.
And it's also how she acts, like she's so soft that you can't say anything to her, and that how dare you criticize me? Like, everybody can be critiqued
all day long. There's no special protection.
Because what you're doing is you're decoding language to attack American
Jewish state or
and
a
to
Muslim
say that we should not be here and we should not be in existence, and that you would be happy for other people like Mamdani to use it.
I want Israel to be
No
safe.
Nothing of the sort.
Nonsense. You're totally lying. It's very normal for a Miller to be completely and utterly lying. That's not true. We want Israel to be a safe haven for Jews. 1967 borders, but you guys say no, more Palestinian.
Now, I was telling you guys that there's a lot of people lying right now, and I named certain people, but I said that I don't know with all certainty what's a lie and what's not, but they're definitely telling a certain amount of lies up there. Now, he just said it's not surprising that a Miller's lying. So apparently I'm not off, and I was talking about her husband, you know, and he just said the same thing.
Take Gaza, take the West Bank, take Southern Lebanon.
Wow.
Your greed knows no bounds. And by the way, you and your husband are supposed to be working for America, not for Israel. I think you're betraying this country.
All right, Cenk, let Katie.
Piers,
right,
if I could just jump in here on a quick note.
Yeah, Omar, I'll come to you, but let Katie.
If she shows up to a panel to debate, she should be ready to fire back. All she should have did was absorbed what he said and then gave it back to him if she's really right and passionate.
Finish her point, then I'll come to you. Katie.
No, Piers, quite frankly, I'm really sick and tired of this racist, bigoted rhetoric that comes from people like you against my husband, against my family, and my children. I am raising Jewish children in this country.
Who brought your
in which
children into this?
He's
what
right.
A weirdo.
Nobody said that. Oh.
Piers, I'm going to be done with this if you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators just for the sake that he will not stop speaking.
Casey, to be clear, he inserted
a line that says the Miller's lie. Is that not coded language? Or therefore we are Jewish? Come on, Piers, where are you?
What?
Where
How
are you?
did she add the other part of the sentence?
If I can speak,
everything's your shield.
If I can speak, listen.
Fire him, cancel him, cancel him, America. Oh my God, Israel's feelings have been hurt. Why don't you work for this country?
Can we try and get
this country?
He said Israel's feelings have been hurt.
All right, can we try? All right, can we please? All right, let's stop the ad hominem attack.
You know, a lot of people feel like America, not even feel, to them it's factual. I haven't done the research needed to say whether it's fact or not, but they feel like America moves how Israel tells them sometimes, and it's because of finances or favors, corporations, whatever.
Let's try and get this back to a more civilized debate, which is actually about the likely incoming mayor of New York. Katie, I was giving you the chance to respond. If you want me to do it for you, I'm happy to do that. But normally in a panel discussion, if someone makes...
You know,
yeah, I agree, and you shouldn't be interrupted. So, Katie, let me just ask you, separate, let's not get into ad hominem stuff. It's honestly, I think the viewers are sick of it. Let me just ask you, Katie, what is your fundamental opposition to Mamdani? Because my view of Mamdani is he's very charismatic. He's a skillful politician. He has reined back on some of the more inflammatory things. He undeniably said the stuff he said about the NYPD would be for some people disqualifying.
Well, that was the part I wanted you guys to see. You know, I gotta take care of something. I'm about to wrap it up real quick. You know, at the end of it all, they were talking about, let's not make this about ad hominem. I'm familiar with the word, but I don't know what it means. I'm gonna find out what the term means right now, and anybody else who doesn't know, you'll know in a second. What does ad hominem mean? All right, guys, before we close the show out, the meaning of ad hominem. Ad hominem. Adjective, directed against a person rather than the position they are maintaining. Example, vicious ad hominem attacks. Adverb, in a way that is directed against a person rather than the position they are maintaining. Second definition, in a way that relates to or is associated with a particular person. Listen, man, you already know what it is, man. It's your man Spank Dog. I'm out of here. You already know. Much love, real love. God bless you guys. Have a good night, or rather a good morning.